1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has once again appealed the nation to fully follow the SOPs to avoid the spread of COVID-19 in the winter season. Pakistan's SR's program has become a global model for reducing poverty and produced positive change in the country. British High Commissioner says British companies are interested to invest in the energy sector of Pakistan, especially in the off-grid solutions. Foreign Office has urged India to eschew the use of false propaganda against Pakistan. The United Nations General Assembly has stamped its approval on Pakistan's 4 resolutions aimed at strengthening regional and international peace and security. As World Human Rights Day is being observed across the globe today, Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir continues to reel under brutal Indian occupation. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has once again appealed the nation to fully follow the standard operating procedures to avoid the spread of COVID-19 in the winter season. He made the remarks following chairing a meeting of National Coordination Committee on COVID-19 in Islamabad today. Alluding to the rising cases of the virus in the country, with occupancy of beds in hospitals reaching 40%, the Prime Minister said the chances of the spread of the virus can be limited by only covering the face. He warned if the current trend of the virus persists, it will put our hospitals, doctors and healthcare staff under tremendous pressure. Imran Khan said the opposition parties are holding public gatherings, which increases the chances of the spread of the pandemic. He said by holding the gatherings, the opposition cannot put the government under pressure, but they are putting the lives of the people at risk. He advised the opposition to postpone their gatherings for 2 to 3 months for the protection of lives of the people. China has expressed deep interest to make investments of $3 billion in Ravi Riverfront Urban Development Project. The information was shared with a meeting chaired by Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today regarding Ravi Urban and Bundal Island projects. The meeting was informed that this does not include any loan. The Prime Minister was also informed that an investment consortium, NCC, has also offered an investment of $5 billion in the project on partnership basis. Pakistan's SR's program has become a global model for reducing poverty and produced positive change in the country. This was stated by ex-Chief Advisor on Delivery to former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Sir Michael Barber, in a report. Addressing a virtual news conference in Islamabad today, Sir Michael Barber said the SR's program is an important program for Pakistan in fighting against poverty, which is contributing in protecting the most vulnerable segments of the society. He said the structural changes pioneered by the team resulted in the rapid delivery of SR's emergency cash to 12 million households in the wake of COVID-19 challenge. Speaking on the occasion, Special Assistant on Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Sania Nishtar, said the report reflects the achievements of the first year and it will pave the way for continued success. British High Commissioner to Pakistan Christian Turner has said British companies are interested to invest in the energy sector of Pakistan, especially in the off-grid solutions. He was talking to Special Assistant on Petroleum Nadeem Babar in Islamabad today. The British envoy commended the initiatives taken by the current Pakistani government to revamp the energy sector. The Special Assistant said the government has set an ambitious target to introduce 20% renewable energy by 2025 and 30% by 2030. Election Commission of Pakistan has once again reminded the members of the Parliament and Provincial Assemblies to submit by 31st of this month the yearly statements of assets and liabilities, including those of their spouse and dependent children. Foreign Office has urged India to eschew the use of false propaganda against Pakistan. At his weekly news briefing in Islamabad today, Foreign Office spokesperson Zahid Hafiz strongly condemned India's reprehensible tactics against Pakistan that have once again been exposed in its latest report by the EU Disinfo Lab. He said, according to the EU group's latest report, there is a vast network of fake media outlets, think tanks and NGOs serving Indian interests and involved in amplifying malicious content against Pakistan. The spokesperson said India is not only spreading disinformation but also abusing international institutions in its desire to malign Pakistan. Responding to a question about recent threats from New Delhi, he said Pakistan has consistently been apprising the world about the possibility of India resorting to false flag operation against Pakistan. He said, we forewarn the world community yet again. He said, our armed forces are fully vigilant and ready to respond to any misadventure or miscalculation by India. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has urged the world human rights bodies to act decisively in ending the human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He was addressing a seminar in connection with the International Human Rights Day in Islamabad today. The foreign minister stressed on the world bodies to call upon India to constitute a commission of inquiry and allow unhindered access to human rights organizations and the international media in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. As World Human Rights Day is being observed across the globe today, Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir continues to reel under brutal Indian occupation. A report released by research section of the Kashmir Media Service on the occasion said Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted on 10th of December 1948, was indeed a milestone, but no single out of 30 basic human rights enlisted in the UDHR exists in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The report said unabated Indian state terrorism had claimed lives of 95,728 innocent Kashmiris since January 1989 till date. APHC General Secretary Maulvi Bashir Ahmed and other Hurriyat leaders and organizations in their separate statements condemned rights violations by Indian troops in the occupied territory. They urged the United Nations and other international human rights bodies to send their teams to take stock of the worst human rights situation in Kashmir. The United Nations General Assembly has stamped its approval on Pakistan's 4 resolutions aimed at strengthening regional and international peace and security. Of these, 3 resolutions deal with regional disarmament, conventional arms control at regional and sub-regional levels, as well as confidence-building measures in the regional and sub-regional contexts. The 4th Pakistan resolution has sought security assurances for non-nuclear states. In Afghanistan, 8 militants were killed and 4 others injured when government forces stormed a Taliban hideout at Sarai area of Kaisar district in Faryab province today. The United Nations has urged Bangladesh to allow a safety assessment of remote island where government shipped 1,600 Rohingya last week and verification process to ensure refugees are not forced to go. In a statement, the United Nations human rights investigator to Myanmar, Thomas Andrews, said the assessment and verification process are in the best interest of all. Arab coalition supporting Yemeni government intercepted and destroyed a bomb-laden boat belonging to Houthi militia which was targeting maritime routes south of Red Sea. In a statement, coalition spokesman Turki al-Maliki said the boats represented a threat to regional and international security, maritime routes and international trade. And finally, the weather report. Rain, thunderstorm and snowfall over the hills are expected in Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab and northeast Balochistan during the next 12 hours. However, rain is also expected at a few places in Upper Sindh. Isolated heavy fall and landsliding may occur in Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan and Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa during the period. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.